Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel again. I came back with a new video in which we will learn React Native from scratch. So we will learn things by step by step. First of all, we'll learn how to set up the environment for React Native. Whenever you're gonna work with a particular language or any framework, so first of all thing like how to set up the environment for this so that you can work on that particular language or particular framework. Next thing, we will learn some basic about React Native, like its syntax and its functionality and basic purpose of using React Native. After that, we will go to our practical part, where we will see or we will cover all of our practical knowledge. So for set up the environment, we need some things like Android Studio. Next thing we need Python 2.7, or you can install the higher version of the Python. Another thing we need Java 8. Also you can install higher version of Java here. And last thing we need Node. So let's move to our browser and see how can we install all of these dependency or so follow this link. If you simply type on your browser like download Android Studio, then it will show the official website of your developer.android.com, and there you can download the Android Studio. From Node website, you can download the Node.js, and similarly from Python website, you can download easily Python, and latest version of Python is 3.7.4. Similarly, download the Java from oracle.com. After download all of these, make sure you add these in your environment path. Now after all of this, we need to install the React Native. So you can simply install npm i-g create React Native app, which will provide you expo dependency. npm provide us node package manager. I stand for install, and -g means we are installing this globally in our system. And if you want to work with command line, so you can install npm i-g React Native CLI. So this will be for command line CLI. Next we go like there is some difference of we are learning basic and we are learning some practical. So according to me, for the better knowledge, uh, you can give 20% to your basic learning, like the function of functionality of that particular language, or if you are familiar with the syntax, and 80% knowledge you have to cover while do the live project or any other practical knowledge, because in practical we have a goal and a target, like we have to design the particular page, or we have to design or develop the particular application. So we every day we have a particular goal or particular target, that each day we have to cover this page, and next day we have to cover that page. So on the basis of daily, every day we got some error, like there is no programmer who can uh, develop the application without any error. So every day whenever you start doing practical, you will get some error. So error solving will give you a better experience and better knowledge. But sometime we can't recognize the error from our terminal or from our output, so that we use debugging. When you use the debugging, it simply understand you the flow of your program and the flow of your function or flow of your loop. So all of these we cover day by day, and we repeat all of things multiple time, that give us a very good knowledge. So here is our first question. What is React? Basically, React is a front-end JavaScript library that developed by Facebook in 2011. In React, we can create a UI, or but we can't create any database. If we have to use database, so we have to use the fetch method inside it. We can fetch the data through the API. So in this, we cannot bind the data inside our code. We have to work through the API. So that's why React is a front-end JavaScript library. Also, it follow the component-based approach, which help us in building reusable UI component. Like there is a slogan for React, like everything is component in React. So we divide the page in different section, or which we called the components. So like we if we have two or three screens similar in design, so we can easily create a single component, and we can use easily call this component again and again. And if there is some change in our data, uh, like in a home screen we have a different type of text, like a name, username, and his post, and at profile screen we have different type of text or post, like there we need to change the all post to the particular user post. So we can easily pass the props to the particular component that will change the data, or you can change the name of post according to it, but all of the remaining design will be same. So we will implement all of these things practically later on in this video. Also, it is used for developing complex and interactive web or mobile UI. Like in React, if we can divide the our application UI into different component which are reusable throughout our application, so that make us to develop complex and interactive mobile UI, or for mobile web, for web also. So also, if I talk about the feature of React, it used the virtual DOM instead of real DOM. That makes it faster. Hope all of you have knowledge about virtual DOM and real DOM. Also, React use server-side rendering. It follows the unidirectional data flow and data binding. Now here is our next question. In React, everything is a component. Basically, components are building block of React application UI. And these components splits up the entire UI into small independent and reusable pieces. As I have said already, like whenever we have to create a similar screen, so we can simply create a component and we can call it again and again. That make the code reusable throughout our application. Also, then it render each of component independent of each other without affecting the rest of UI. Like we have to use a component in different page, so it will not affect each other. All of the components are independent. Like if I give you an example, we are taking example of Instagram. So at Instagram, at the home page, you can see there are different section for story and for post. Also, bottom side there is a navigation part as well. So we can divide all of these in a different component and simply use all of these component in our home page, like a story, post, and navigation and component. Also, I have created a series for uh, clone Facebook UI using React Native, where I had explained all of these and also used it practically. You can watch the series as well. Now React use JSX expression. So let's see what is JSX. Basically, JSX stand for JavaScript and XML, and JSX is an XML HTML-like syntax which used by React that extend the ECMS script so that XML and HTML like text can be coexist with JavaScript and React code. Basically, there is a compiler named Babel. Babel is the compiler of React. So whenever we are working with the JSX, So we can easily use the HTML like syntax in our without JavaScript. And when we're gonna compile the program, it will automatically convert this in the pure JavaScript. Like basically by using JSX, you can write concise HTML, XML like structure, like DOM like tree structure in the same file as you write JavaScript code. Then Babel will transform these expression into actual JavaScript code. Now let's see syntax in React Native. So here I had write the hello world program in first two line, like import React component from React and import text and view from React Native. I'm importing these things from the package of React and React Native. So for creating a class component, the thing is mandatory. We had to import the component, then we had to extend our class with that component. So after that, export default class hello world app extend component. Here I'm gonna create a class component. Then after inside the class component, we have a render method. Basically, it is mandatory to every class component to have a render method. Render method will return a React element. So inside the return method, we use the HTML like tags because but in React Native they are different in place of view, like in HTML we have div. Also we can use the style inline style and after that, but to one thing we have to keep in mind that we can return only a single element at a time. So we can't like in HTML we can create the multiple div. So we can't do this thing with the React Native. So if you want to work with the multiple views, then you have to create one parent of all of these view, and inside that parent you can use as many as view you can. Let's create a fresh project. After that, we will create a hello world program and we will see the Flexbox layout, how Flexbox work in React Native. Also, after that, we will see how to create a reusable component. Also, we discuss about style sheet and inline style, like how can we implement it in our program, or what is the basic difference between both of them. Then after we will see the state and props. We will implement it in our program and see all of these things practically. So let's move. So let's create a fresh project for React Native. Make sure you have installed all of the required thing which I told in the part setup environment. So I had already installed all of these and I had opened my Android emulator. If you do not want to work with your Android emulator, you want to work with your actual device, so you can simply connect it to your laptop or your computer. Just you have to do one thing. You have to make sure USB debugging on your mobile. So make sure you have installed the React Native CLI. If you haven't installed, then follow this command npm i-g react native CLI. React native CLI. So it will install the React Native CLI globally in your system. I had already installed all of these, so I'm going to create a fresh project. So for this, use React Native init. Here you have to give your project name. For this, I'm giving the name of crash course. There should be you here and After that, press enter. It will take several minutes. So after that, you will see there will be a folder generated which have the of your app name, whatever you would have given at the time of creating the fresh project. Inside that particular folder, there will be a different file. So in index file, basically index is the home directory. We have app registry.register component, and inside app name, after that we are using our arrow function where we are returning the app. Basically, we are import app from our app.js file. So whenever we're gonna run the project, it will show everything with what we have inside our app. Or if you want to show any other screen, so you have to just simply import here and use in your register component. So let's move to our app.js file. You can simply press Ctrl and click on app. It will redirect to your app.js file, or you can move from here as well. Like it has import many things from React Native, also new app screen, and it also have return method, and here it is using the functional component. So make sure like whenever you are building an application, so there will be a two type of component, whether it functional component or whether it class component. So it will be better like if we are not gonna work with the state, so we have to use functional component. So I'll cover all of these later on in this video, like what is functional component, what is class component. So first of all, let's see the output. What will be the output of that? Open the terminal and simply use the command react native run android. So react native run android and press enter. Make sure you will be inside the directory cd space res codes. Yeah. Here we have to use the command react native run android and press enter. It will take few minutes, like when we are building the project, so first time it will take some time, and the next time when we're gonna run the project again, so it will reduce the time because it has already built the project and just it has to rerun the program. So after running it successfully, you will see the output like this, like welcome to React step 1, and see your change, many more things. You will see everything whatever you had in your app.js file. Let's create first hello world program. So move to our app.js file. I do not need this. Also remove everything from our return method. And remove the style sheet as well, as I'm not gonna use this. So right here text, inside it write hello world. Now save this and reload the screen of your emulator. You can just shake the device, or in emulator you can just press Ctrl M. That will show you the option of reload, and let's see the output of this. Like here you can see the output. As you once you run the program, you do not need to rerun it again and again. Just if you make some change in your program, just simply press Ctrl M and it will show you option of reload, and when you press the reload it will change the output according to the updated program. So here we have used the functional component, like we have a variable app in which we are using an arrow function which is return a text which hold hello world. So what if we're gonna use the class component? Let's do this same example with a class component. So I'm using a keyword class, and here I'm not gonna use the arrow function. Remove this, and in React class component we have to use our render method, because whenever we use the render method it will return a React element. So like inside it, render will return the React element which is a text which holds the value hello world. So just save this. Let's reload the screen again. Let's see what will happen. It showed that cannot call a class as a function. It's showing that because we have to extend the class to other component. For this we need to import component from React. So just import component that will extend by a class. So extends space component. Just save all of this and let's see the output, what will happen. Here you can see the output hello world. So for creating a class component in React, we have to extend it to the component, and inside component it is mandatory to use our render method that will return a React element. It will return only one React element. If you want to return the multiple value, so you have to wrap inside a single component. Like if I'm using this multiple times, like hello world, and here I'm gonna use hello again. Let's save, and here you can see the red mark. JSX expression must have one parent element. For this, for multiple value, you have to wrap all of these in a single element. So I'm gonna wrap all of these in our view. Now you can see there is no error. Also just move to our emulator and reload the program. Just reload it. Here you can see the desired output. We have two output, hello world and hello again. So let's see something about our flexbox. As for this view, I'm gonna remove all of these, and for this I'm gonna give a style. I'm using inline style. I'm giving it flex of 1. Also I'm giving it I had made mistake. Separate this with comma, and background color of yellow. Save this. Move to our screen. You can simply press double R as well for reload the program. So you can see like flex 1 take all of the height and all of the width of the screen. Now if I'm gonna create another view inside it, like copy this one and just paste it 2 times inside the view, make it in the format, select all of these and right click, format selection. For this I'm giving background color of red, and this one I'm giving the background color of green. So save all of these, reload the screen. Here you can see the output. It divides our screen in red portion and green portion. Like I had given both of view of flex 1, so it equally divide the screen. Let me give the flex 2 of the green section, and let's see what will happen. So the green section covered the 2 times area as the red section, as it holding the flex of 2, and red section only cover only flex of 1. So it cover only half area of as of green area. So let's separate the green area horizontally in 2 view as well. And let's create another view. Just copy this and paste it here, and for this use some different color. So I just copy this style. I'm giving the color of you can give it any color, like I'm giving it orange color right now. So it will divide the screen, green screen horizontally, but I want to sorry, it will divide the screen vertically, but I want to divide the screen horizontally. For this I'm giving the parent view of style. I'm giving it flex direction of row. Outside means mistake here. Let me give flex direction of row. Save this and just reload the screen, and let's see the output. So here you can see this one is our red screen which holding the half part of the green screen. So at this is one our green section which was holding the flex of 2, and further I had divided into 2 parts. So this one is our flex 1 of background of blue, and this one is of flex 1 of background of orange. So here you can see, like using the flex box you can easily divide your screen in different part, or you can simply write anything or use the any portion of screen whatever you want. Let's dive some deep in the style part. So here I'm gonna create a style sheet as well. So use a variable const, give the space, it will be styles. I'm going to use style sheet dot create. So let's give it I'm use back only and colon. Inside it I'm giving background color of white. Now just use this reference in place of red. So just remove this. I'm giving it styles dot back. As we are using flex of 1, so here I'm giving it flex 1 as well. Now save this and let's see the output. Here you can see the red part converted into the yellow white part. So now like if we can achieve the same thing our inline style, so why we need to create our style sheet? There is some difference between style sheet. Like style sheet are mutable. Let me give an example of this. For this I'm going to create a state like this dot state. Inside it I'm passing a property color and giving it value of true. There will be a equal to symbol here. Yeah. So now in the background color of green, let me remove its children. So remove both of these, and I'm giving the style on condition base. Like here I'm going to use the ternary operator. So if this dot state dot color, then the background color will be green, else the background color will be orange. Let's save this and let's check the output. Here you can see our background color is green because the value of this dot state or dot color is true. Now if we change the value to the false, now what will be the output? Here you can see our color changed to the orange. So we can easily make our style condition based. So can we achieve this thing using the style sheet? So as we are using the color of white, so let's put the same condition here. Then color will be white, else color will be black. Save this and reload the program, see what will happen. Here is showing undefined this dot. Undefined is not an object evaluating this dot state dot color. It is showing that because our style sheet is immutable, we cannot change the property at the runtime. So once you define this style in the style sheet using style sheet dot create, so it will be remain same while the program life cycle. So just remove this. I hope you will understand what is difference between our style sheet and our inline style. Now let's see how can we create a reusable component. So here I'm going to create a class. Give it a name anything like reusable component.js. Inside it I'm gonna copy all of thing from app.js file, and here I'm gonna paste all of these thing. So inside it I'm gonna use this state and remove all of thing from return method as well. Also I'm gonna change the class name to the reusable component. Reusable component. That's fine. Inside it I'm going to return a text element that will show the name. Let's I'm giving it show name. Move the extra space. Save this. And how can we use this component? So just move to our app file and currently I'm moving all of this. I hope you get a good understanding what is different between inline style and style sheet. Also, I'm gonna remove this as well. So here, what we can do, import something from here. You have to give the path of your component. If you press Control and hover on it, it will show you everything about the component, and if you click on it, it will redirect to you that particular file, and press Control tab, it will redirect to you the previous file. So just save this and let's see the output. Here you can see it is showing the show name. So now how can we create this component? It's reusable. So now let me give you an example that you have multiple names. You have 10 username or 100 of username. So for this you have create a simple component. So inside the reusable component, in place of show name, I'm just passing the this dot props dot name. When we are gonna use this component anywhere in our project, so we just need to pass a property of name which will equal to the first user, or you can give it any name. So just save all of this and let's see the output. Here you can see the output. Now if I want to do this same thing again, like here, I'm going to use the second component, second user, say for same component, move to screen and reload the program. Here you can see we are seeing the output two times, first user and second user. So you can use this component anywhere in your project, and just you need to pass the property and it will show the output according to this. Now let's see what is the difference between the proper props and the state. For state, I'm giving the name. Let me give it name of user state, and here I'm going to use the text. Inside text, I'm going to pass the value of the state, this dot state dot name. Save this and see the output. It is showing user state. Also, I'm gonna make it a condition. It's user, and I'm giving it false. So inside it, I'm gonna create a ternary operator, like if this dot state dot its user, then simply show this name of user, else it will show unauthorized. Save this and check the output. It is showing all of text. We have to pass this as a condition. So I'm going to use this as an object. Just remove this. That's fine. Let's see the output. Here you can see it is showing unauthorized. So at user it's false, so it is showing unauthorized. So you can see like by using this state we can change value within the same component, but by using probes we can't achieve this thing. Also state can be used in the component where we have defined the state. We can't use it outside, but for probes we can use it the component when we are calling calling that particular component anywhere in our project. Like if I had created the component or app, and if I'm going to use the app file uh, anywhere in my project, so I cannot access its state there. I can only access the state within the same component. And let me do one more thing. Here I'm going to creating a variable. Let's before creating the variable, I'm gonna create another component here. Just copy this, paste here, and I'm gonna give it name of other component. Also remove all of these. That's fine. And I'm gonna use text other, and I'm not gonna use the state inside it as well, and just use this here. Let's see what will happen. Save all of these and let's see the output. Here you can see the output here. Now what if I put the condition, that condition here? Paste here and remove this one. Move to our emulator screen, reload the screen, and let's see what will happen. It is showing error. Null is not an object evaluating this dot state dot each user, because it is unable to find that state, because this is outside of that component. So this means we cannot access the state outside of the component, but we can do so. There is the alternate way of this. For this, I'm going to create a variable, and I'm giving it a name of self. You can give it any name, and inside the component, I'm assign it value of this. So self will equal to this semicolon here, and use self in place of this. So just paste here and paste here. So now it can access the state of the above component. Now just move to emulator device and reload the screen and just see the output. Here you can see the output. It is showing unauthorized, and that is similar to the above output. So this is way how can we access the state of any component. Start work with FlatList. If we have a number of data, so we use FlatList for fetching the list of the data. For this, I'm gonna import FlatList from React Native. Also, I'm gonna create a state which hold an array of data. So state will equal to, here I'm gonna give it list, and inside the list I'm going to create a array which hold different object, like for our work this will be our key. Like whenever we're gonna fetch the work, so we just write the list, this dot state dot list dot work. So according to key it will give the value. Also I'm giving it id, so I'm giving it id of 1. I'll just copy this and paste it below. So just to change the work id to 2, also change the work to 2. Here I'm gonna write the flat list that will be show the heading of top. Also for flat list, just self close it. Inside it I'm gonna use the data, which is the property of flat list, and inside it I'm gonna pass the this dot state dot list. After that I'm gonna use the another property key extractor, which will provide a unique key to every element. So inside it I'm going to use index item comma index, and after that use arrow and change index dot to string. I think T should be in small letter. Yeah, this method. So after that I'm gonna use another property of render item. So for this I'm gonna create a reference of item and use arrow. Like whenever I'm gonna fetch any detail, like in our list we have work and work id, so I just simply use item.id or item.work, and according to the particular key it will give me the value. So inside it I'm gonna use a view and give it some style as well. I'm giving it background color of black. So for this I'm using S000, and now just close the view here. Inside the view I'm gonna show the text. I'm giving it style, and I'm giving it color of white. Since we have a black background, show triple F, that's enough. And inside it I'm gonna use the value of item dot work. Here you can see it show me hint directly. So just copy this and paste it, and here I'm going to use item dot id. Save all of this. Let's move to our screen and reload it. Let's see what will be the output. Here you can see we have the detail. So let me give it flex direction of row. This will show the item in a single row. Also I'm giving it justify content to the space between. That will show on one end it will show the work, and on another end it will show the id of work, and both of these will be in a single row. So just save this and let's see the output. Here you can see we have work and our work id as well. It is not work id is not showing properly, so let me give it one more style. From right I'm giving it 10. Let's see this will work or not. Yeah, now you can see it take automatically margin from right of 10. So by using FlatList we can fetch the number of data which we have in our list. So also I'm using the touchable opacity, that whenever we click on a particular item it will delete that. So for this I'm using touchable opacity. Oh, I forgot to write view here, I think. Yeah, so I had to use a view, use another view. Like I'm gonna give the button of outside of view. Like when this single row completed, like for work 1 and work ID, below it there will be a button whenever we click on it and it will remove the data. So for this I'm creating another view because we can return only the single element in React Native. That's fine. And after that I'm using touchable opacity. Also I'm giving it some style, like we're gonna delete the item. I'm giving it color of danger in red color, so background color should be red. And just copy this one and paste it here. I'm not gonna use the right margin, and here just write the text. Like we are gonna remove the item, so I just use remove. Save this and let's see the output. Here you can see like we have one element, then we have a button. After that we have one element and then we have the button. Like in FlatList it will always show the all of particular UI component as much data we have. Like we have two data, uh, two objects in array, so it show the remove icon, remove button two times, but I had created only it once. So whenever like our data will increase, it will automatically show each automatically show the button for every element. And whenever we're gonna perform the action, it will be remain unique for every element as well. So like I'm gonna use on press, and here I'm gonna use an arrow function. Inside it I'm gonna use this dot set state. Basically set state method we use to update the state value, and whenever the state value it automatically re-render the program and it would show the output according to the updated state. So inside the set state method I'm going to use our list because we are changing the value of list. So this dot state dot list dot splice and inside splice I'm giving the id of particular element and id comma 1, number of element we have to delete. So whenever we click the particular button of remove button of particular element, then it will remove the item. So just save this and let's see the output. Here we go. So when I click on first, then it deletes the first work. When I gonna click on this, it will automatically delete the another one. See what is happening. Like we are fetching the data from our this dot state dot list which I have created. So inside data I had passed the value of this. So when we click the function, it set the state again. So it changed the state, and for the list value it's assigning the value of this dot state dot list, and it's gonna remove the particular element from there. So that's why I'm using this splice method. Inside it we have to use given two parameters, one for your particular index, and the second for number of elements you wanna delete. Hope you have understand working with the flat list, how can we use the flat list, and or you can use the different property of flat list, like whenever you press control, by pressing control space it will show the number of property uh, of a flat list. Like if you want to use the all of element horizontal, then you can simply use the props horizontal, and if you wanna show the only two or three element in a particular row, then it have number of columns. So there are different property. Whenever you press control and hover on flat list, or you just click on flat list, it will redirect to you there, and there you can read everything about the flat list, its property, and everything. So that's all for today video. Since React is a big library, so I cannot cover all the feature in a single video. So that's why I had made the crash course. Like and share the video, and if you are new, then subscribe my channel. Also, if you have any suggestion for me, so write below in the comment section.